Yep, good evening, everyone. So, this is the HTML, CSS for full stack development. So, people who are into full stack batches, the HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript topics we will discuss here. I will give a simple point overview is here you are going to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I will give you overview here related to bootstrap also. Bootstrap. These are the topics we are going to learn in this session. And this is the session related to what is needed for full stack developers. For full stack developers, whatever front end is required, those topics we are going to cover here. So HTML, CSS, bootstrap, these are basic topics required for every kind of developer. So JavaScript also mandatory. We will learn all these concepts, and these concepts will be related to your course contents. According to course content, whatever topics are mentioned, those topics we are going to deliver here. So those topics we are going to discuss here. Okay. So here we will start with working with HTML. Then we will simultaneously go with CSS and others. Already you people are learning any technologies already. We are into web technologies. Huh? Already you are learning web technologies, or what courses you are doing already into Java. Huh? Front end development. You are into already Java course. Huh? Right. Fine. So we will start understanding about the concept of HTML in this session. For that, first I will give an overview. The overview is about what are the various types of applications and where we use this. Okay. So first I will ask you a simple question. What are the various types of software applications developed by companies? What are the various types of software applications developed by companies? Give me some list. Types of applications. For example, you are a software developer. So when you are a software developer, you have to work for development. And in the development, you need to build some applications. As a software developer, what kind of applications you build? Generally, what are the types of applications that you build as a developer? Suppose you are learning Java. By using Java, what kind of applications you can build? Huh? What kind of applications you can build by using Java? Standalone applications. Huh? Anything else? What kind of applications you can build? Internet applications. Huh? Yeah. Actually, the software applications are several types. We have desktop applications. We have web applications. We have distributed applications. We have artificial intelligence applications. We have mobile applications. And we have IoT applications. These are the different types of applications. As a software developer, you can make career into any one of these. You are learning Java or you are learning .NET, you are learning PHP, Python. These all technologies are used in building different types of applications. Some are good for developing desktop, some are good for developing web, some are good for developing distributed like that. Depending on the client requirements, which type of application he wants, we choose the technology which is best suitable for that. So as a software developer in your career, you have to work for these 6 types of applications. Do you know difference between them? Have you heard all of this? Desktop applications, web applications, distributed. I will give you one simple overview. Desktop application means, for example, we have a hospital. We will take an example of an hospital. In a hospital, a person is starting an hospital and it have no branches, only one hospital without any branches. And they want a software to maintain the hospital information like patients, medicines, doctors, all information they want to maintain in a software. And they will use that software in their hospital at a reception. They will have 2-3 computers and there they will use that software. They don't have any branches. They don't want any online transactions or anything. In that case, what kind of applications are good for them? We build a desktop application. Desktop application means we design an application and install in the computer where he want to use, and he can access and use that application on that computer. These kind of applications are called as what? Desktop. Web application means suppose a hospital is available with lot of branches all over India or city. They have branches. They want communication and they want people to take appointment of doctors through online. They want to get information through online. In that case, we develop a web application for them. Web application means it works on internet. So we will learn more detailedly about them once we start. So if they don't have branches and they want to use on 1 or 2 PCs in their office, then better what applications? Desktop. They want to connect with internet, they want to access and use, then what kind of applications? Web applications. Distributed application means generally web applications, if I want to watch hospital details online, then how to watch hospital details online is I can open a browser like Chrome, Firefox, Edge like browser, and I can type their website address and it hospital details will open and we can do the transactions. That is web application. But for example, we have a hospital people have an app. Hospital people are having an application. They ask us to download that app. So we can download that application. What is the purpose is without opening any browser, we can just open the app, and from the app we can do the same type of transactions. For example, see here, suppose you have like Netflix. You see, this is Netflix. This is Netflix. This is Netflix. I'm opening in browser. I'm opening Netflix on browser. I'm having the same Netflix in my PC. You can see there is a Netflix app. So I can open Netflix in browser and I can open Netflix in this app and I can watch it. Now the point is, what is difference between these two? What is difference between watching Netflix in a web in a browser and watching in an app? Question understood? Huh? What is difference between watching YouTube in a browser and watching YouTube through an YouTube app? No difference. What is difference? Question understood? Huh? Are you waiting for my answer or thinking? Thinking? So long you are thinking? I asked you a question. Understood? So what is difference between watching Netflix and YouTube in a browser and watching in their apps? Huh? One simple example is when you are using an app, several contents can be provided you offline. You know, on YouTube app, you can download videos and watch offline. In Netflix app, you can download videos and watch offline. You know that, right? Can you do that in a browser? No. So the YouTube app, the Skype app, or the WhatsApp app that you are using in your mobiles, those are not mobile apps. We don't call them mobile apps. We call them as distributed applications. They are called distributed apps. If I ask you, tell me some applications that you are using, mobile applications that you are using on mobile. Suppose you say Amazon, Flipkart, Swiggy, Zomato. These are all not mobile apps. These all comes under category of which apps? Distributed. If you are not connected with internet, will these apps work? Then they are not mobile apps. They are called as distributed applications. So distributed applications means the applications that run on any device. You don't need a separate browser. You can directly access information from those apps. Mobile apps means what? For example, you are having phone book, gallery, dialing, right? Calendar, calculator, all these comes under what kind of apps? Mobile apps. Sometimes you download a game, you can play the game without internet connection, then it is a mobile app. You download some tutorial and app, you can use it without internet connection, then it is a mobile app. It needs internet connection means it's not a mobile app. It is what kind of application? Distributed applications. So desktop applications, web applications, distributed. AI is artificial intelligence applications. Artificial intelligence applications, so many. You can see Amazon, Alexa, you can see Siri, you can see different types of artificial intelligence applications. Mobile applications, just now I told you, which are built for mobile native. IoT means Internet of Things. What are IoT applications? IoT applications, nothing but you are wearing smartwatches, you are wearing bands, so which will monitor your heart rate or something, how many steps you take, and sensors. Those all comes under which category? IoT. So in software development, you have a lot of different types of applications. Now, by learning HTML, that means you are here to learn HTML. This HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript like concepts, these are very much required for building. These are required for building web applications. These are required for building distributed applications. They are required for building artificial intelligence applications, mobile applications, and even some IoT applications. Everywhere you need them. Only desktop applications, they doesn't require HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. So you can build all these types of applications. They need HTML, CSS, JavaScript like concept. That means in addition to that, they need so many things else. But these are mandatory. That is the reason if you say I I'm a Java developer, I'm a .NET developer, I'm a Python developer, PHP developer, and I don't have knowledge of HTML, CSS. It's like a joke. So seriously, you are a Java developer and you don't know HTML, JavaScript, you can't be a Java developer. You can't be a .NET developer or a PHP or Python developer. Because for developing any kind of these applications, you need the knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's the reason these are very major. Do you know, as per the statistics of software industry, so 80% of apps JavaScript. 80% of applications they use JavaScript. In the modern generation, it is more increased percentage now. Without JavaScript, there cannot be a software developer in the current situations. In the current situation, even you are learning cloud technologies or you are learning about automations, the knowledge of JavaScript is very important. So it is a very important concept to understand and work all this. But what we are going to learn here is, I'm going to teach you this HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap in this class. And this you can implement in any kind of applications. Understood? That means it is good for building web. It is good for building distributed artificial intelligence and every kind of application. Now, why you need that? What is the role of HTML? What is the role of CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript? These we will see now. We will discuss. So we can build all these type of applications, but our primary aim of building using HTML, CSS is we will use HTML. We will use HTML and CSS and Bootstrap and JavaScript. We will use all these for building. So we will build web applications. This class is related to web applications. So that means we are learning HTML, CSS. You can implement everywhere. But our primary target is building what kind of applications? Web. Because to build distributed applications, you need additional knowledge of concepts like React.js, Angular, Vue.js, like that, to build distributed applications. To build artificial intelligence applications, you need additional concept like Python and artificial intelligence related several tools. And to build mobile applications, you need to learn Android, iOS with core Java like concepts. And to build IoT applications also, you need Android, iOS, and core Java like concepts. With HTML, CSS, JavaScript, we can build what kind of applications? Web applications. So our main concept is building what kind of applications? Web. So in this class, we will learn how to build web applications by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But very important, web applications have two areas. They have front end and they have back end. Web applications usually have two major areas. They have front end and back end. We are going to learn HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript means we are going to manage only front end. That means in this class, are you going to learn any back end? No. This class is about only to manage front end. This is only to manage front end. So you are not going to build a complete web application then. You are not going to build a complete web application. You are going to build only front end of web application. Because to build a complete web application, you need both front end as well as back end. You need both front end and back end. And the HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, this is for front end. HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, these are for front end. For backend, you will use Java, PHP, .NET, Python, all these kind of technologies. with the softwares like Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server like databases. There will be a lot of databases. Actually, for backend, you have to use server side scripts. You have to use frameworks. You have to use databases. So many will be there. So what you are going to learn with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. So you are going to learn how to build the front end. Can you build a complete web application? You cannot build. That's the reason sometimes people ask, like, at the end of this course, can we do any project? We can't do any project because you are not learning complete web development here. You are learning only front end. But you can build some good templates. By the end of this course, you can build website templates. In that website templates, additionally, backend you will integrate later. Website templates means I will show you some designs. I will show you some designs here. We can design something like Netflix. You can design this screen with what we learn in this class. You can design this screen. And for that, you don't need to wait long. We can just design this screen in starting 10 days itself. Within 10 days of our HTML, we will learn how to design Netflix like page. Right? We will design this. How to design like this, I will show you. Within just 10 days of our HTML, we can build it. And I will show you some templates. Like you can see these are a lot of website designs. You can see these are a lot of website templates. These are different website templates related to different concepts. You will able to build these kind of templates. You will able to build these kind of applications. For example, this is an application. You can see the preview. This is related to some shopping. We can able to build this kind of app. This kind of front end you will able to design. So our target of this will be within first week of our HTML. Within first week of our HTML, we will finish this design. We will able to create this, right? But for that, very important, you need to be very serious in learning. You need to be very practical in learning. So you can't waste your time. So here we will not entertain anybody. So here I will give you some tasks. Those tasks you have to do time by time, right? If you can do that, then currently you have a lot of opportunities as front-end developers. Even you are learning Java, .NET or some other technologies, you just put a profile as front-end developer in resume, you will get a lot of job calls now. In the current situation, without back-end technologies also, as a front-end developer, a lot of job opportunities are there. Because every technology needs front-end now. And front-end is done by using this. So you should be practically strong, not just sitting in the class, listening to the class and going. Right? We have to practically design work. Then you will get perfection on that. I hope you all will practically do this, all right? If you can do this, I can guide you in more in-depth of more complex designs. So our target in the first week of HTML, we should finish this design. We should able to create this design. Then in the third week, we will able to give functionality for this. We can make it work also, right? For that, you need to learn all the concepts which are required for building real-time apps. And remember, this is not a complete web application. You are learning only front end. Understood? You are learning only front end. Designs only you can create and you can make them functional. But later, lot of concept is required in them. You need lot of backend and lot of other concepts to integrate. Okay. So by the end of HTML, JavaScript, you should able to build such things very easily. Our target will be this. So we will take examples of real-time websites and we will able to design them. So by learning HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, you are learning what? Front end. Front end for whom? Web applications. Is it clear to everyone? Right? If anybody asks why you are learning HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, where it is used. So only simple answer. It is used in building front end for web applications. Is it only used for building front end for web applications only? Not only web applications, it is used for building front end for even distributed applications, even artificial intelligence applications and IoT. But only these are not enough there. We need more. Understood? These are also used, but along with them, we need more, like Angular, like React, like technologies are required for building distributed and all. So we are going to build front end for web applications. Is it clear to everyone? Right, good. So now we will start designing, means we will start working with HTML. We will start working with HTML. So we are going to start understanding and working with HTML. What is HTML? How this HTML works, we will see that, right? Let's see. Generally, actually, we have HTML. HTML usually stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So what is the meaning of this sentence? What is hypertext? What is markup language and all this? Let's see. Actually, the meaning of hyper means beyond. Hyper means beyond. Hyper is an English word. It's a general English word. Hyper means beyond. In English, hyper means beyond. You say that kid is hyperactive. Hyperactive means beyond active. That means be active and beyond active. That means you can say more than active. So beyond, the word meaning of hyper means beyond. So what is hypertext? I will tell you here. See, actually hypertext means, for example, suppose I am watching Amazon. When I open this Amazon, there is a text here in Amazon. You can see there is a text here in Amazon. This text is mobiles. This text is some best sellers, mobiles, customer service, like some text is present. Now, can you tell me, when I opened Amazon, it is showing this information. Is this only the information that Amazon is having? Is this only the information Amazon is having? No, Amazon is having lot of information, and you can go to the information. That information is beyond what you see. The information is beyond what you see. Currently, you see only one page, but it is having lot of information beyond what you see. Who will take us beyond to that? So Amazon is having mobiles, am I right? Who will take us to mobiles? That mobiles text will take us to mobiles. That means you click on that, then it will take us to mobiles. That means beyond the text, lot of information is there. Am I right? That is why we call as hypertext. Hypertext means the text which shows some information and it contains lot of information beyond what you see. These kind of texts are called as what? Hypertext. The meaning of hypertext means the text which tells some information and the text which contains lot of information beyond what you see. And how you can get to that information? By clicking on that text. You click on the text, it will take you beyond it and it will show what is beyond it. That is why these are called as what? Hypertext. So what is the meaning of hypertext? Hypertext means, hyper means beyond, and hypertext. hypertext defines some content and takes you beyond the content, content what is displayed, the content what is displayed. That is what hypertext means. Hypertext defines some content, and not only that content, it will take you beyond what you see. It can take you beyond what it can display. This type of text is called as what? Hypertext. And what is markup language? What is the meaning of the word markup, and how this markup works? What is the meaning of the word markup? Let's see. Actually, to understand the word markup, one simple example I will show you. Suppose we have a software like, just take an example. We have a software like any software like some MS Word. We have a software like MS Word. In MS Word, you can prepare a lot of documentation. For example, we designed a letter in MS Word. So to some address and some subject, and suppose we are designing some content. So we designed a letter in MS Word. And actually, this we designed on a page. In MS Word, we have a page. This page is having height. I hope you know A4 size. Do you know the height of A4 size? Width and height. Actually, the page size is, it will be 8.5 inch. So width will be 8.5 inch. And height will be 11 inch. That is what generally you people call A4. A4 will be little more taller. It will be 11.25 or 54 something. It is little taller than 11. This is called legal letter size. That means we are designing a letter in a software like MS Word. And what is the height and width for the page? Width is 8.5 inches and height is 11. Now we need to take a printout of this letter. So we have a printer. On a printer, we have to take printout. We need to take a printout of this paper. Now for that, there is a paper given to us. And you know, several companies will ask to print the letter on a letterhead. And in that, they give in a paper, in that already company logo is at the top. And at the bottom, they have some address, contact details at the bottom. Am I right? And their paper size is little different. Their paper size is 10 inches height. And their paper size is 7 inches width. You know, different companies, letterheads, different size will be there. That means they given a paper to us, and in that paper already company logo is printed at the top, address is printed at the bottom, and size is little different. Now, if I directly print this in this page on this paper, can it print correctly? It cannot print correctly. Why? Because the size that you designed and the size where you have to print, they are not matching. Then what the designer should do? This is important. What the designer have to do is, the designer have to mark up. Understood? The designer have to mark up the margins. He need to mark up the margins so that it can correctly print on paper. So what is the meaning of the word markup? What is the meaning of the word markup? What you understood by this? So a designer is marking up his information to present correctly on that paper. So what is the concept? markup means? Markup means preparing for presentation. That means markup language means it is a language which is used for presentations. Which is used for presentation. That means we cannot print exactly how it is on the paper until or unless we correctly set the margins, mark up the margins. So what is the meaning of the word markup? Markup means prepare it for presenting it properly. Marking up means preparing for presentation. Now here, what is the target of presentation? What is our target? Where to present? In this example, what is our target? Where to present? On a paper. On a paper we have to present. Now very important is generally on web applications, what is the target? In web applications, what is the target? Where user will see your website? Where user will see your website? In which software he will see your website? He will see your software in your website in a software called browser. Am I right? That means the purpose of a markup language is to prepare presentations for browser. Understood? That means we need to write to present on browser. So what is the meaning of markup? So markup is used. Markup is used by designers. Markup is used for marking up content so that it can be presented exactly as required. Without a markup is nothing but preparing for presentation. So markup language means is a language used for presentations. Markup language means it is a language used for presentation. What is difference between a programming language and a markup language? Difference between programming, Java, C, C++, these are all what? Programming languages. What is difference between programming language and markup language? Markup language cannot interact with you. That means markup language can create only presentation. That means you can design a button, but you cannot make the button work. That means you can just design a button. You cannot make the button work. You can design a form. You cannot make the form work according to your requirements. For that, you need help of another language. So markup language is just used for only presentations. It is a presentation language which is used for presentation. So what is the meaning of HTML? Hypertext markup language. That means it is a language which is used for building text which can take you beyond what you see. Understood? That means it is a language used for presentation. And whatever you are presenting is not only the content that you see. There is a lot of information beyond what you see. That is the full form and meaning of HTML, hypertext markup language. Right? I hope everyone understood. Hyper means what? Beyond. And hypertext means the text which can take beyond what you see. And markup language is a language which is used for presentation. So web applications presentation happens by using markup languages. Without a markup language also we can present. I will show you. Don't worry what I am using. Just observe the concept. Don't worry what I am using. Later you will learn how to do this. Just see the concept. You don't worry what I am typing here. Just see the concept. Suppose I am typing here. So welcome to HTML. Am I using any language? No. You can see without a language also we can present. You can see it is presenting. So many people will tell you that HTML is very important. Browser cannot understand anything else other than HTML. Browser can understand only HTML. That is the reason you have to learn HTML. These are all wrong. So without HTML also we can present. You don't need HTML. You don't need HTML. In real world projects also, lot of things we present without HTML. If anybody says that browser can understand only HTML, that is the reason you have to learn HTML, that is a wrong statement. So browser can understand not only HTML. Can't we open a picture in browser? Can't we open a picture in browser? We can open. Then how you can say that it understands only HTML? Right? Browser understands PDF, browser understands text documents, browser can open them. The point here is without a language also we can present. But what is the problem? Let's see the problem. The problem is I am now editing this. I am taking it to center. And I am giving here, so welcome to HTML, markup language like this. I am just adjusting to center. That is how I designed. And now I go to the presentation. When I go to the presentation, is it able to present in the same way? But it is presenting. It is presenting, but it is unable to present in the same way. That is what I said. Suppose you designed a letter in MS Word in a page and you printed on a letterhead. Will it not print? It will print, but it may miss the margins. Na? Some content may go outside the margin. Some content is not printed. So now what you have to do? That means without HTML also it is working. But what HTML can do? HTML can make the presentation exactly how you need it. That means, see now, I am using markup now. Don't worry what I am writing, just see, okay? I am writing markup. In this, I am adding some presentation. And here I am writing something. Then you can see that it is going to present it exactly as expected. So without a markup language, can we present? Yes, we already presented now. Without a markup language also we can present. But what is the purpose of markup language? The purpose of markup language to make the presentation exactly how the client needs. So that you can present the content exactly where you want, so that it can present correctly on browser. So lot of real-time presentations, we directly present without HTML. We don't use HTML. Directly we present some titles. Directly we present some text. In real world projects, we do that. So HTML is not mandatory, but without HTML, you cannot imagine designs. That means HTML is a language which is required for designing good web pages. Right? Entire presentation is done by HTML, hypertext markup language. Understood the purpose? So what is the role of HTML in web development? Tell me, what is the role of, if anybody asked you a question like, what is the role of HTML in web development? What is the role of HTML in web development? So what is the role? Tell me. HTML, it is used for presentation. It is used for presentation. That means presentation of content on browser is done by whom? HTML. HTML is used for presentation. Presentation of content is done by HTML. Is it clear to everyone? Understood? So what is HTML and what is the role of HTML? It is used for what purpose? Presentation. Presentation in what kind of applications? Mostly we do that? Web applications, right? And why it is called HTML detailedly I explained. Right now, another important is how this HTML came, how it works, all these things you have to know. We will see evolution of HTML. The evolution of HTML, how this HTML came, what is the basic history of this HTML, just an overview I will give you. Actually, network started in early 1960s. In early 1960s. So with ARPANET, it is called the world's first network. Actually, network started in early 1960s. What is a computer network? A computer network contains group of computers connected with each other so that we can share information and we can share resources. So a group of computers connecting with each other for sharing of information and sharing of resources. We can share information and share resources. Actually, the first computer network was introduced in early 1960s. It was done with ARPANET by United States Department of Defense. These people developed it. The first computer network was introduced in 1960 and its name is ARPANET. Actually, it is Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. It is the first computer network name. It was introduced in 1960 by United States Department of Defense. After that, what happened is networks classified into three types. I hope you know LAN, MAN, and what the WAN. What is WAN? Wide area network, local area, metropolitan area, wide area. Based on range and capacity, networks classified into different types. After that, what happened is a company called CERN, CERN, CERN. CERN Labs developed a language called GML for presentation in network. In network, presentations are developed by a language called GML, generic markup language. GML is a generic markup language. The first markup language was GML. It was developed by CERN Laboratories, Council for European Research and Nuclear, that is CERN. These people developed a language called GML. It was the first language developed for presentations. After that, what happened is CERN developed another language, developed SGML. SGML is a standard generic markup language. They developed another language called SGML, which have little bit more good improvements into the markup language. The first language was GML, and after that what? SGML. After that, in the early 1990s, Tim Berners-Lee, Tim Berners-Lee introduced a concept called web and HTML. He is the architect of web and HTML. The concept of web was introduced by Tim Berners-Lee. He developed the concept called web. Actually, web is different, internet is different. Internet and web both are not same. That is the first basic thing you should say. In the beginning, I asked you by learning Java and all what kind of applications you build. Many of you told me that internet applications. That is wrong. That is wrong, because the applications that you are using for internet, they are not internet applications anymore. They are called web applications. They are called web applications. Don't use the word internet applications. There are no more internet applications here. We are using what kind of applications? Web. What is difference between internet and web is nothing but actually web is a portion of internet. Web is a portion of internet. Web is not internet. Web is a portion of internet. That means in internet a part. Who introduced this concept? Tim Berners-Lee. And he developed a language called HTML, which is used for presentations in web. Actually, you should know this point that, for example, I will tell you a simple thing. Like suppose we have different countries, regions. We have different countries and regions we have. For example, suppose we have like US and we have like UK and you have like, so you have like India, like this we have. All these are connected with each other. If all are connected with each other and they can share information, this forms internet. Understood? That is internet. But every country will have its own web. Every country have its own web. Every country have its own web. Actually, that country government controls that web. So what is problem on internet? On internet, there is no restriction. Everybody can access information from anywhere. There is no restriction, but web gives restriction. That means web gives restricted access, restricted access, restricted access. That means there is no restriction on internet, but web started introducing restriction on internet. So everybody cannot see everything. Who can watch what? That you can decide. For example, best example I will tell you. So just a few weeks back, I hope you people heard latest news, very much trending about a documentary on Narendra Modi. Have you heard? You watch news? You heard that? No? Only YouTube shorts are you see. Instagram reels, YouTube stocks, nothing else. You know this, na? Right? Very recently, what happened is BBC, UK news company, BBC, they made a documentary on Narendra Modi. And that documentary has a lot of controversy. And our Indian government have objection on that documentary. And now you open YouTube, you visit BBC channel website, BBC channel on YouTube. You can open their videos and watch their videos. In that, the documentary video also there. The documentary video also there. You click on that video, it will say that this is blocked in your country. I thought on internet I can watch everything. No, you can't watch everything. What you have to watch, your country government will decide. What you are watching, your country government knows. That is under control of your country government. That is called web. Web is under the control of government, compulsory. They have to have control on that. That is the reason if anybody posts something on Facebook, which is objectionable, right? On Twitter, then immediately government tells them to take it down. That means government says that according to rules, this should not be there. That post will be taken down. That means what currently you are using is not direct internet. What currently you are using is what? Web. Web have a restricted access. For example, go to Google Maps and search for Taj Mahal, search for Assembly of India, search for ISRO. You will not get their correct locations on maps. You will not get, because they are highly secured areas, and whatever location you see on maps, that is blocked, that is scaffolded by government. Government do scaffolding. Scaffolding means on map, if you see Taj Mahal, it is not at the same place where you see on map. It is different. Originally, it is in different place. but it shows in map in a different place. Approximately it will be 20-30 kilometers here and there. You will not go to exact locations using maps to that locations. It will block before 20-30 kilometers itself. Because our Indian government tells Google that you cannot show us more than this. Because these are our private areas. So these are very important. There is so many security threats. You have to block that. You know, in a lot of countries, even here also, you can see maps, building views also, you know, but in our country, maps are limited to certain length only. You can't go more than that. They are limited to certain length. You can't go more than that. That means restriction. Don't think that you can watch everything. Don't think that nobody knows what you are watching. So everybody is under control of one person, that is web. And web is under the control of their governments. That's the reason you people know in China, nobody uses Facebook, nobody uses Twitter. Do you know that? Right? Why? Because their country government restricts them. If anybody tries to use, they put them in jail. That means simply it is blocked. It's not available. They don't have Twitter, Facebook like concepts. They have their own. They don't want their people to use others. So that is under the control. This is called as what? Web. So what is difference between internet application and web application? Internet application don't have restrictions, but web applications will have restrictions. We can decide what he can watch. We can decide from where he can watch. We can decide how much he can watch. We can put restriction for everything. That is what important about web, right? Who introduced this concept? Tim Berners-Lee. We call him father of web. Tim Berners-Lee is known as father of web. And he developed a language called what? HTML. HTML. Actually, HTML is not a new concept. What was the evolution? First, it was GML, after that, SGML, after that, HTML. And who developed this HTML? Tim Berners-Lee. After he developed HTML, for several years, IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, maintained HTML up to version 4.0, actually up to 3.1 only. That means HTML was originally designed by Tim Berners-Lee, but Tim Berners-Lee left it as open source. Anybody can build it, anybody can develop it. Then a group called IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. These people took the responsibility of HTML and developed several new features into HTML. Several new features are added into HTML up to version what? 3.1. After that, what happened is, after that, a group called what? WG, Web Hypertext Application Technology Work Group. These people took the responsibility of HTML from the year 2004. From 2004 onwards, these people took the responsibility. That means these people took responsibility of HTML and developed so many versions, and developed versions HTML4 and developed HTML5. So even today, HTML is under control of these people. HTML is built and maintained by a company called, by a group called what? WG. This is the group which is going to maintain HTML. That means if you want to know anything about HTML correctly, you have to follow what? WG people, not W3 schools people. Understood? W3 schools, tutorials point, these are all not official HTML. They may be popular among you, but not popular among developers, because developers always follows the standards of the people who built it. Because other people, in order to make you understand, they can morph topics. They can bluff you the topics. They can morph you the topics. Suppose if I am talking about a topic and you are unable to understand, then what I will try to do, I will try to change the topic in a simpler way and try to explain you. Due to that, what happens? The actual definition is missing and only your understandable definition got to you. And this definition you tell in company as an answer for question, they will say, no, I am not satisfied. Why? Because for learning level, your trainer have changed the definition and told you one definition, but in architecturally it is different. As of now, you understood it, but the same answer if you give in interview, he will say, no, I am not satisfied. That is the reason you people will come with complaint that, sir, what you told in class, the same answer I given, but interviewer says, no, there is some more, tell me. Have you came across with this kind of point? When you attend interviews, this you will come across regularly. They will ask you one definition. You will tell the definition according to what you have learned in class. Immediately interviewer says, no, I am not satisfied with this definition. There is more about it. Tell me. Why you are not learning the actual definition? Because it looks little difficult. But to make the topic simpler to you, they morphed it. They changed it. That is the reason we will not do that. I will not do that. I will tell you the exact definitions for HTML or CSS or JavaScript as per the people who built it. So there is no chance of any controversies. Like somebody says in that website, I have seen like this, in this website, I have seen like this, in that YouTube channel, that person told me like this. I don't care about all those people. We don't care about all those people. Why? Because we care about what the people who built it says about it. Understood? That means the people who built it, they knows better than anybody else in the world. Somebody, this website, that's why we don't care about those websites. We just care about what WG. So if I want to learn HTML, I want to know HTML, I will follow these people, not anybody else in online. Understood? Because they are building it, they are maintaining it. They build HTML, they know better than anybody else in the world. Right? This is the official website of what WG. You can visit it. This is what WG.org. This is the official website of what WG. That is the official website of what WG. And they are maintaining evolving HTML since 2004. Before that, it was under the control of a group called IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. Now it is under the control of this group. They are maintaining and they are developing. And if you want to know HTML in detail, you can visit this website. You can read. It will show you all the information. It have all the contents for you. Every concept related information it will tell you. And this is officially from the people who built HTML and who are maintaining HTML. So, and any other website which is telling you definitions, which is telling you about HTML, they have to take information from here only. Right? That is very important. Hope it is clear. So it is maintained and it is developed by which group? What WG. Another important point you should know, web is maintained. Web is different again. Web is maintained and developed. Web is maintained and developed by. Web is maintained and developed by a group called W3C, World Wide Web Consortium. These people, consortium, yeah, these people, that means actually W3 head is Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee. He is the head of W3. He is the head of W3. And very important, latest version of web is Web 3. Web 3 is the latest version of web. If in interviews, if anybody asked, what is the latest version of web? You learned web development. What is the latest version of web? Web version is 3. Actually, what is difference What is web standards means? Web standard is nothing but currently which language we are using for developing web pages, designing. For presentation, which language we are using? HTML. Which browser we can use? Which browser we can use? Any browser like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, am I right? So Edge, there are so many browsers we can use in a similar way. Why can't we use any another language? Why to use only HTML? Suppose you developed one language like HTML, you developed a language which can present on browser, right? Now, will other people in the world will use your language for developing websites? Understood the point? For example, I will tell you one simple point. Suppose we have general example. Suppose we have like toothpaste, right? Now you designed a toothpaste by yourself. You mixed a lot of creams, put some ice cream or something inside it, and you developed a new cream and say, this is my toothpaste, and go and sell in the market. So government will immediately put you in jail, you know. Why? Why? Because you need an approval from the Food Corporation of India. They have to make an approval that this is harmless. This will not do any harm. This is good. This is okay. Then only you can sell it. Am I right? In software development also same. You can't use every language. You have to use the languages which have standards. Understood? Huh? That means there are millions of software languages. Why people know only Java, .NET, PHP, only these? Do you know Chinese don't know any Java? Chinese people, Japanese people, their softwares are highly professional than our softwares. Highly intelligent. Japanese softwares are highly intelligent. They don't use Java, .NET, PHP, Python. They have their own languages. They have their own languages. They don't use other languages. That is the reason Chinese people will hack everybody's website, but nobody can hack Chinese website. Because we don't know what software they are using at all. We don't know. They are using their own softwares. And why those softwares are not made globally available? Because they are some harmful. For example, you know, Chinese phones are banned. Some China phones came in the beginning, they were banned. You know that, right? Why they are banned? Because they are not as per the standards and they will lead to a lot of security issues. Similarly, in software companies also, we will not use the softwares which are not certified by certain groups. If you try to use those softwares and build an application and release onto internet, they will be immediately blocked by internet. Right? And who tells that these are languages good for developing websites? That is by W3C. Understood? That means according to whom React.js can be used, according to whom Angular can be used, according to whom JavaScript jQuery can be used. That is according to W3C. Some new technology comes, and if W3 is very satisfied with its functionality, then they will introduce that into their website. They will say that as a developer, you can use this technology. It is good. Then developers will get a confidence and they will start using that because already W3 certified it. So who maintains the standards of technologies which are being used across web? Those standards are defined by whom? W3C. Understood? That means now you can see this is W3C. This is the official of W3. So you can read the standards from here. This is the official website, W3 website. Now, what this website will tell you, this website will tell you about all the technologies which are good for web design. There are hundreds of technologies. You know only few of them. According to these people, there are hundreds of technologies. You can see the complete list. You can read their documentations. They will say that for this purpose, these languages are good. For this purpose, these are good. We certified that. If W3 certified, that's good. That means we can use it. That means what happens in every new web version, they will introduce some new technologies. They will say that you can use this. Like that, how many versions of web are currently available? 3. Currently, we are in which version of web? Web 3. The latest version of web is Web 3. And according to Web 3, lot of new technologies came. Those technologies also we can use for building applications. So if anybody asked you in interviews, you are developing web application, which web standards you are following? So W3 standards, which version? Web 3 standards. So which HTML you are using? Developed and maintained by whom? HTML is developed and maintained by what WG? And what is the latest version of HTML? So the latest version of HTML is HTML5. That is the latest version of HTML. So we are going to learn this HTML here first. Later, I will tell you CSS, JavaScript and all. Actually, to know about HTML, what is the website? Website is whatwg.org. To know about JavaScript, you have a website, ECMA International. These are the people who develop JavaScript. And to know about web, you have to follow whom? W3C. W3C. These are the official resources. That means if you want to know JavaScript, go here. ECMA International. If you want to know HTML, go here. What WG? If you want to know about web, then go here. That is W3C. These are the official people. Others are not official. Others are not official. Whatever they say, sometimes they may have a wrong definitions also. So wrong definition, old options which are not available, which are removed, they may be using them. So we should not follow that. We should follow only this. Understood? JavaScript is under the control of this group, ECMA International. ECMA International. This is ECMA International. It is currently not reachable. Later you will see that. So these are the ECMA standards and all. It is having limit. That means it is saying try again later. Server may be busy. We can try later. And important is JavaScript is from another group also, MDN. This is Mozilla Developers Network. Mozilla Developers Network. Who is the head of HTML? Who developed it? Tim Berners-Lee. And JavaScript is by Brendan Eich. Brendan Eich. He developed JavaScript. So MDN is under the maintenance of Brendan Eich. Brendan Eich developed JavaScript. And MDN is under his control. That means if you want to know correct information about JavaScript, you can visit the websites. 2 websites are there. One is ECMA, another one is MDN. MDN. This is MDN. MDN is Mozilla Developers Network. This is the official for developers related to HTML and everyone. This is official. Understood? Documenting web technologies including CSS, HTML, JavaScript since 2005 officially. Documenting means all help. Official help is created by these people related to the technologies HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Right? These are the important resources you need to know before learning the technology. So currently we are dealing with which version of HTML? 5. HTML version 5. I hope you are clear. Right? So HTML is what? HTML is a markup language. And before HTML, what were the markup languages we have? GML and SGML. GML and SGML. And HTML is maintained by which group now? What? WG. And it is according to web standards. Which version of web? Web 3. HTML5, Web 3. These are the standards. Now the question is how this HTML actually works. That means what is there in HTML to learn. So technically how this HTML works, I will tell you one simple point. To understand about HTML, how HTML is going to work, you need to know about a concept called, so here some important terminology I will give. Important terminology I will give before going into it. And already some terms we learned. What is the terminology? First, you know what is a network. Am I right? Already I given you just now. What is a computer network? What is the first computer network? Different types of network. Next, what it is? Types of networks. What are the different types of networks? LAN, MAN, WAN. These are different types of networks. Okay. And another important is you need to know what is internet and what is web. You understood both points now? So internet is a wide area network that connects computers all over the world without any restriction. Web sets restriction. So, and the question is simply why it is called web. Why it is called web? Because actually the name web given by Tim Berners-Lee, because he got this idea from a spider web. He got this idea from a spider web. That's the reason he named it as web. Actually, Tim Berners-Lee got this idea from a spider web. Usually a spider web looks like this. So suppose a spider web usually looks like this. For example, so this is some spider web, how it looks like. Usually a spider web technically looks like this. Now what happens generally is a spider is the owner of this web. A spider will be owner of this web. Okay, usually a spider will be owner of the web. And important is, suppose we are in a room. In a room, in one corner, one web, another corner, another web, another corner, another web, some spiders are there. In a hall, you are sitting, in one corner, one spider web is there, another corner, another spider web is there. Is one spider owner of all these webs? No, they are individual. Now what happened is, suppose a small prey get caught here. That means a small prey, like some insect get caught here. Understood? For example, this is say web. This is like web A, and this is like web B, and this is like some web C. Okay. Now a small insect get caught here. And when an insect get caught here, a vibration will go from this insect, this wire, and a vibration will go and indicate the spider. And the spider will come and collect its prey. So a vibration goes and tells the spider, that is called technically as, we call as request. And spider comes back, that is called response. Web works with an architecture called request and response. That means the client will send a request and server will send a response. Web is an architecture that works with the mechanism of request and response. But here the point is, can the spider of web A can collect this prey? It can collect if this spider allows. Understood? It can collect if it allows. If it doesn't allow, it cannot collect. But who will respond first? In web B, some insect get caught. Who will respond first? B spider will respond first, right? And it is stomach full, it can't eat more. Then it will leave it for others. Am I right? Then other can come and it can go and collect this. That means actually I opened here Gmail, Google. I opened this Google. And in Google, I am searching for, so job sites. I am using for job sites. It given me some list of job sites. Now, why these job sites came in the list? Indeed.com, and some Naukri and some Naukri, these job sites came. Now, are these the popular job sites all over world? In Korea, Japan also? In UK, US also? Then why this came to me? Because the server identified that you are accessing from India because of your IP address. Understood? Then what happened is Indian servers responded to you first. Indian server responded to you and it sent you the data related to your region. Until or unless you specifically ask best job sites in UK, it will go to UK server and search. Understood? By default, which server it is looking into? The nearest server which is present in your geolocation. In your geolocation, which is the nearest server, it will search in that. That means it will search the nearest one according to your IP address. So you are, according to your IP address, it knows that you are from India, you are from Hyderabad or Delhi or Mumbai. Nearest to that, whatever is there, it will pick up. That means who is going to respond first? This is going to respond first. And this can restrict others to access your information. That is the reason you might have seen. Suppose you have some friends in China or you have some friends in Japan. Ask them, tell me some good websites related to some movies or technologies. He will tell you some websites and he will tell that you can't open in India. He will tell you some websites and he will say that you can't open these in India. Because in India, they are not accessible. They will see that your request is coming from India. They will block your request. They are available only for the people who are watching from China or from Japan or from Korea. They are restricted. So we are not developing application for direct internet anymore. We are developing application for web. This is the architecture behind web. So because he got the idea from a spider web, how to control, how to handle the request response, he named this network as what? Web. He named the network as web. The name web came from this point only. Tim Berners-Lee named it as web because he got all the idea from a spider web, right? And another important, now this is important, you need to know. So what is a web server? You know already web server. I just showed you. Server is nothing but what is the role of web server? What is the role of web server? The role of web server is nothing but it resembles both hardware and software. It satisfies the client request by sending and receiving data. Understood? What is this technically? I will tell you now. That means what is a server, how it looks like, how it works, how to create servers by ourselves, how to manage them. This all I will show you. We will see practically working with that. That we will see in the next session. Today enough. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? Right. So from tomorrow, we are going to start practically working. Right. Practically, we are going to start working on this. And tomorrow we will see what is server, what is website, web application. And I will show you how to install, how to set up environment. You have to do that practically. From tomorrow onwards, we will start that. Today, we just had an introduction. What is HTML? What are the versions of HTML? Tomorrow we will continue with this. Okay, right. And 1 second, I will. And a name sheet is there with somebody. Give that name sheet. All these notes I will upload into a Google Classroom. Please make a note about that. Is you join the Google Classroom. In the class, whatever we are discussing, the notes I will upload into a Google Classroom, right? I will give a Google Classroom ID. I will create a Google Classroom for you. This is HTML batch. Okay, so this is 4 p.m. Yeah. You take a note of this. This is the Google Classroom code. You join this Google Classroom. Everyday classroom related notes and examples I will upload into this classroom. Okay, na? This is the class code. That is the class code. Right? You can copy this Google Classroom code and you can join this classroom, and all our classroom related notes I will upload here step by step daily. Okay, na? Right? Then tomorrow we will continue. Okay. And first, please only boys first leave, girls you leave after the boys. Right? Right.